Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Polyhedron Collider Cast, episode 180. I'm Steve Tudor.
I'm Andy Lewis.
I'm Sid Gill.
I'm John Cage.
And I'm Rory Summers. 10 years, boys. 10 years.
Most of 10 years. I mean, you guys did 10 years.
No, I haven't done 10 years.
I haven't done 10 years.
Two of us have done 10 years.
Yes, 10 years. So, folks, 10 years ago, me, Andy, and John sat down in my living room with a ropey microphone in the middle of the table, played a couple of games, drank a few beers, and pressed record. And that was Polyhedron Collider, or the start of. And it has actually been 10 years. When the time this podcast comes out, it'll be 10 years since that very first episode came out. And we've not managed to line it up. We're on episode 180, not quite 200. I mean, it would have been awesome to get 200 at 10 years, wouldn't it? But, well, I mean, who cares?
It's our own fault for bringing Rory on board and making ourselves organised. That's our own fault. For getting a consistent podcast out every 3 weeks.
At least we got it to a round number, though. Because having like a random 2 or a 3 or a 4 or something would have been a bit
That would have irked me no end.
A nice divide by 10. I'm satisfied with that.
And at least we made it to 100 episodes.
We did.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, mate.
Of course, and we'll hit 200 episodes this year as well, won't we? We'll get 20 episodes.
52 over 3 is only 17, so we might not.
Be about this time next year that we'll get to 200.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So, a few months back, on our Discord server, which is doing stormingly well, by the way, Brendan asked us, and I said it would be a question for the show, or possibly a question for the whole show, and said, what are our top 10 favourite games for each of us? And at the time I said, we did that not that long ago on our episode 100. And I looked back and thought, that's 80 episodes ago. And as we just alluded to, that was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
So rather than do a normal episode for our 10th anniversary special, we're going to revisit that and we're going to pick our favourite games. Now, we're not going to do a 10 each because John's back and that would be 50 games and we'd be here all week if we did that. So we're going to pick 3 games.
Ish.
He said that with such confidence.
A large swollen asterisk against that, but yes.
Yeah, well, this is typical Polyhedron Collider. You know, when we say pick 3, we actually mean pick 5 and manage to somehow bundle 2 or 3 of them together into one choice. Yeah.
Couple of them will become a bog off, won't they, really? So listeners get extra value.
Yeah, I mean, it's the rules are there to be broken.
We are the podcast that just keeps giving, aren't we, really?
Even if people don't want it.
Now, see, again, Rory, that would imply some level of organisation.
I'm organised. There's only 3 games on my list.
We started this 10th anniversary show by having to clean our show notes up because we're so lazy, we just add to the end.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've been here, but I looked through it. I was like, are these even today's show notes? Because the way I remember it, it was all like neatly organised and we knew where we were going. And I was like, am I looking at the same document? I opened it 3 times. I'm like, no, I'm in the right one. It just looks like rubbish.
It's just a living document and we just keep adding to the end. You've just got to keep scrolling, that's all.
Sure, that's it.
It's like being at work.
It's not that bad. Come on.
It depends on your work, I suppose.
Yeah. Right then, so shall we kick things off? And we're going to go for this list as it is, so I'm going to pick on Sid first.
Oh, gosh, I never get to go first. That's a rare treat.
Well, yeah, happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to start with one of the first games I ever bought when I got back into this gaming lark. And I want to start with Mansions of Madness from Fantasy Flight.
Ooh, excellent choice, sir.
Very
I
much.
agree.
Yeah. And it's on my list because of a little bit of nostalgia, because it's, I've one of the first ones I bought, but also because it's bloody brilliant, and it's got it's got everything you want in it. It's got a little bit of excitement, a bit of role play, a bit of an app, because I like those kinds of things. I like the story-driven game.
I use it as a kind of an introduction to anybody who wants You know the people say, "Oh, would you like to play a board game?" And they go, "What, like Monopoly?" You know that conversation. No, not like that. Let's play this because it's a cooperative game, and because it's app driven, and I've played it tons. We all have. I can do most of the heavy lifting. So all the players need to do is sit down, move the counters around, and have fun, and they do. Every single one of them walks away from that game thinking that was bloody brilliant. I want to play more games.
Yeah, because they got mullered and they have to go back in again to play another round of it.
That's why if they play with you, mate.
That's why it's so. But that's why it's so good. That's why it's so good because it makes you want more. It gives you a kick in, gets you on the floor, kicks you in the stones, and then goes, "Would you like some more?" And you go, "Yes, please, miss," and you go back in again. I love it. I think it is one of the finest bits of board gaming ever.
It's a good balance as well. Some of the ones with apps, I think they can get a bit bogged down in it, or it gets a bit clumsy, or the app doesn't work. But I think generally, Manchester Commander is a pretty safe bet on that one.
Now, interesting, when this game came out, it made our game of the year.
Was it 2017, 16?
I want to say 2017. And we also had a special award at the time on this podcast, which was the 3 for 3.
Oh, yes.
Where all 3 podcast hosts had bought the game. And the fact that you've bought this game as well, Sid, means 4 of the members of this podcast own this game. I think it's only Rory which doesn't own this.
Letting the side down, mate.
I've never even played this.
Now, that's a lie, Rory, because you've played it with me.
Have I?
That's
yes.
a tick on the Rory is wrong tracker.
Yeah, you better do the old click, mate. You better click.
There isn't a tracker for that.
Oh, yes, there is.
No.
Because numbers don't go that high.
There's an Andy agrees with Rory tracker, and then there's an Andy is wrong tracker. Right?
See, I told you to get into 2 because
I
the
don't
other 2
mind
will be a
being wrong.
much bigger number.
When did we play this?
Where we were going through the BGT Top 100.
Oh, that's Manchester Madness.
Yes, and we played the the Escape from Innsmouth scenario, and we ran around the town. Then the town caught fire.
Oh,
and
I
we basically
remember.
got trapped in the corner.
I remember
burnt to a
that.
crisp.
Yes,
That
yes.
sounds like Escape from Innsmouth, yeah.
Yeah.
Run around town, everything's on fire. Never escape from Innsmouth.
I'm also a bit disappointed in myself because we've got this far into Manchester Madness and not mentioned the Cthulhu-esque link to it. Which is quite an important part of this of this game. So it's got everything. It's got everything that we love on this show.
True.
Science fact.
Right. Andy, we're going to do you next.
Oh, God. Well, all right. Whilst on the thematic wagon, I suppose, I am going to break the rules immediately and and actually put 3 games into one slot, but there's a reason for that. God. It's because it's the Nemesis games, because they are essentially
one game.
It's not. They are quite different, but they all follow this. They're obviously set in the same universe. They all follow the same basic mechanics. But I think one could never find a finer example of a semi-cooperative game. It's got all of that fun. It's got a fantastic universe. It's got a great setting. It's grim. It's hard. There's a lovely twist partway through the game that you can't predict, where you start ostensibly as allies, and after a Gribbly shows up, you are most certainly not allies, but you don't know who's doing what because everyone has their own agenda, and I just love it. I think it's just such a clever, fun game. And with all of the different types of aliens in it, the different maps, and the 3 iterations going from Nemesis via Lockdown to the recent Retaliation, which is basically a bug hunt, Steve put it rather eloquently, actually, a few podcasts ago. You've got Alien, Alien 3, and Aliens in that order. And I think you've just got, copyright, obviously, infringement not intended. It's tweaked just enough to taste the influence, but not really step on Alien's feet. But it works so very well. I just always love it. I will always be ready to play it, even if it can take a couple of hours, especially Retaliation can take quite a while. But it's just such a great example of a thematic dice chucking, screw over your friends, call them a lot of pretty names across the table, get 90% through the game thinking, I'm going to do it, and then draw the queen from the bag and very much not do it. It's just wonderful. There are so many moments where you can just succeed, just fail, think you're going to win, not, and it's got everything. As Sid's just said now, it has a great story. It's got the coup. It has the failure. It has the dramatic. It has the Benny Hill.
Interesting you say the Benny Hill thing, because that's the only thing I don't like about this game. Everything I agree with you on this game that you've said, except for how hard it is to get around the bloody board at any kind of pace. Yeah, but it's not, because I want the interactions. I want to bash into something and get, have a fight. I don't want to have to spend turn after turn just going, oh, I'm going to mosey through this room. Oh, I've been through this room. I've ransacked it. I'll have to mosey through to the next one. Oh, no, this one's got a door that's now shutting it. That's the only thing that frustrates me. But I absolutely agree with everything else you said on this. And that's a real minor thing, if I'm honest.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this is a beautifully thematic game. And thinking back to, I remember going to Essen, and this is over 10 years ago, because before the podcast started. And speaking of Adam Krupinski, the designer of Nemesis, at the board and dice stand, just chatting with him, and he just goes, "Oh, I've got this idea for a game. What do you think?" And starts explaining to me Nemesis. And at that point, it was just an idea, and he was basically just saying, "What do you think about this? Does this sound cool?" And all the way through, I'm going, "This sounds amazing. This sounds amazing. This sounds amazing."
I remember the first time I went to Expo with you, Steve, and that must have been 2016, where we got a private demo of what would be Nemesis. And this was, I think it might have even been before it was definitely before it became Heroic Realms. It might have been before Board and Dice. I can't remember.
Well, Board and Dice, it never went to Board and Dice. It was going to come out via Rebel PL, which is a Polish publisher. And for reasons unknown, it was going to come out just like straight to retail. And then all of a sudden it went to Awaken Realms and was it one of Awaken Realms' first big Kickstarters or second?
I think it was the second after Lords of Hellas, maybe something like that.
That would make sense. Yeah, because you got a free alien miniature with Lords of Hellas.
Yes, that's right.
So that was like their advert for their next Kickstarter. So it's also the original Nemesis is that kind of first wave of Kickstarters back when you paid like £60 and got like 20 boxes, which would now cost you $5,000 to get.
Yes. I know. I genuinely have everything for Nemesis because I love it so much.
Wow.
Apart from the lockdown store art book. But,
You don't have a piece of it. Well, Andy.
I know. That is actually quite frustrating from a completionist point of view.
There's only one answer. You've got to fix that.
I can't. I've tried. It doesn't exist. Unless I buy it second hand from someone who wants to shift it, but I'm not that bothered.
Aren't you?
Not really.
He looks itchy.
It does a bit.
In the Nemesis IP, are we including that little escape room box thing we had?
You could.
I suppose
That was
we
Board
could.
Dice.
Because I thought that was pretty clever, and it did step up. And I can't even remember what the hell was it called. It had a proper little name, didn't it?
Yeah, it was part of a different series because they
Well, it
took
was
a
like
load
a-
of different IPs and put them into kind of escape room boxes.
Into like
and
a little
Nemesis.
escape room, yeah.
Yes.
And one of them was Nemesis. I think one was one Red Rising or something like that. Or
So this was called Side Quest.
That's it.
That's
Side
it.
Quest,
Which was a
Side
little
Quest.
series of escape room boxes from Board and Dice, and it was also part of their Lock Me series. I've got the 7th C one sitting in front of me, which is still in shrink because we haven't played it yet. But they were the kind of one and done, like Exit, but they were all like, as you said, IP based.
Yeah.
So they're really cool little puzzle games. Them. Yeah, I remember we got told off, Sid, because we were playing that and Amanda and Sue were waiting outside of Aircon.
They wanted
for
to
us
go for
our
tea.
dinner.
Yeah. But we
The
were
three
kind
of us were. Yeah, I
defeating
remember.
this thing. I really
was
enjoyed
really
it, and I thought it did a really good service to the IP. It did draw the right bits of the IP into itself.
It's a great set of games.
It
Really,
really
well
is
done.
actually.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Any game where you get to throw your mates under the bus at the last possible moment as you blissfully skip out the airlock. Sorry, Sid.
That's fine. I mean, I do like the fact that, as Andy said earlier, that you sometimes think you've won, and then you realise that you turn over the "Where have I ended up" card on the autopilot or whatever it's called, and it turns out you're fucked as well. So not only have you just shopped your mates and pushed them out of an airlock or shoved them in a room with a monster, you're now also crashing on Mars instead of Earth because some messed with the autopilot before you had a chance to go check it.
You're just going to die a different horrible death.
Shows we pointed out that you've been probably playing this game for about 3 to 4 hours at this point as well, and you think your plan has worked perfectly, only to find out you're on the wrong freaking planet.
I mean, you got to love a game when everyone loses.
Yeah. Or you've got a gribbly in your chest, or it's wonderful. There are so many ways to lose the game, and literally about one way to win it.
I just wish you could get around the map a bit faster.
Don't need to. Mr. Tudor.
I'm going to go on a similar theme here. So I'm going to pick not quite an IP, but a series of games that all use the same mechanic, because I think this is like fundamental board gaming me. It's a proper classic. And this is Pandemic.
Here.
And if I had to pick one, I would either say Vanilla Pandemic or Pandemic Legacy, because that's such a good implementation of it. But I don't think I've played an implementation of a pandemic system which I haven't loved. Now, it's a veritable classic, Pandemic, and if you don't know what it is, this is a cooperative game where you are trying to eradicate 4 diseases off the map, or find cures for 4 diseases. When really what it is an abstract game, because what you're trying to do is swap cards, which involves moving your pawns around the map so you're in the right place to swap a card, and then when you have 4 or 5 of the right cards, you can cure a disease, while at the same time managing it, because these diseases are popping up over the world, and you are going through and clearing these out by sending medical aid effectively. But what you're doing is moving pawns around a map, and you've got simple cues to represent the diseases. It's such a simple system, but I always think it's got such thematic depth for such a simple system. And it's always something interesting happens. Something unexpected happens when all that could happen is a different city comes up, but you'll go, right, we're fine. We've cleared Baghdad. There's no diseases there. London's also clear. Tokyo's a bit on the edge. Tokyo won't come up. If Tokyo comes up, we're screwed, but it won't come up. It won't come up at all. Tokyo, there's the next card, which has a cascade effect, which means the entire Asian coastline is decimated. And it's such a fantastic game, and so quick as well. I mean, it's a proper game, and this takes an hour.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of real emotion in that. And I do think, personally, I think the peak of this is Pandemic Legacy.
Yeah.
Although in the last year we've been really enjoying the Lord of the Rings version, which I think somehow takes a game about diseases and turns it into a truly epic interpretation of Lord of the Rings. It shouldn't work,
but it does.
It does.
It really
and
does.
It works really well.
I still need to play that one.
Pandemic Legacy is this one where you play the game, and after each game you change the map. So when a virus breaks out, it scars the map, which can add issues for future games. You've got a story evolving, you've got backstabbing, you've got things happening. It's a game where we actually started playing this before we recorded the first episode.
We did.
Right before, and we talked about it in the first or second episode, I think.
It's come full circle.
That's one of the reasons kind of why it was brought to my attention as well. It's also a game which stressed Jon out so much that he refused to play 2 games in one evening.
Yeah.
Because his heart couldn't take it.
Yeah. It was a lot. Colonel Brown Trousers was living up to his name, that's right.
Colonel Brown Trousers, yes.
Oh dear. The legend that lived.
and our most prolific disease was galloping knob rot.
Oh dear.
Everyone
What colour was that one? What colour was Galloping Knobrot?
I think it was yellow.
Yellow.
No, I think it was the red.
Was it the red one? I can't remember.
Yeah, because yellow turned into the...
Yes, yellow was the one we really struggled with. And yeah. I've just realised something, Steve. It's going to taint this for you now. I've just realised that Pandemic's kind of a pick up and deliver, because you pick up cards and you take them all to one place.
Well, that only means that Pandemic is so excellent that every other pick up and deliver is just shite by comparison.
I can't disagree with that logic, yes. I kid, of course, it's not really. But, I mean, the Legacy ones are brilliant. They truly are. 1 and 2 make a full story. So if you haven't played Pandaleg 2 yet, I really strongly recommend you do, because I've gone through the whole thing.
Played 0 yet?
No, I haven't, actually. I think I've avoided it deliberately because it's not canon. Which it's not part of the same story as far as I can tell. It's kind of
Right.
it's a bit like Iberia, where you're not really curing things, you're just treating them so that people die less quickly.
Right,
Purifying the water. As far as I understand it, it's that kind of thing. But I might be wrong. I say I haven't played it, so I don't know. But it is a great game. Really, really great game.
Certainly is.
Yeah, I think you're spot on for putting this on the list, Steve. I just remember when Fate of the Fellowship came out, like the excitement I had for a new version of Pandemic, and then getting it to the table, having not played a Pandemic game for the best part of 2 years, and going, I remember why I love this so much. I remember, and then every time, and then finishing it and go, we've got to do it again. We've got to play it again. Right now.
That is its beauty. It is like crack. It genuinely is, because you've played one game, even if it's just the regular one, and especially with the legacy one, you want to play it again immediately afterwards. But because it's only 45 minutes to an hour, unless you play Fellowship, which is considerably longer, it's just, you've got the time, the scope to do that. It's just great.
And at the end of the game is kind of, well, that's 70% of the game set up, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You just
Clear
push
all the
some
cubes off, put the white things down,
reshuffle a deck
off you
card,
go.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Off we go. No, it's great. This is the game that got me into the hobby. Actually, going back to what Sid said earlier about Mansions of Madness being his first, this was my first. Yeah, all those years.
Cherry
ago.
popping tonight, boys.
Cherry popping. Go back to those.
Or reminiscing about it anyway.
Yes.
Ever such a long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago, mate. I think I played it with you first, actually, Mansions, Andy.
I think you did, actually.
I think you and Steve.
Yeah, was that around
wouldn't surprise me,
in Malvern? Or was that at Steve's house? I can't remember.
Well, mate, I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
No.
I can.
Can barely string a sentence together. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd forgotten where I started that sentence, so I couldn't finish it.
Come on, Mr. Cage, give Sid an out.
All right. Well, we mentioned a few things that we're kind of coming full circle on. I think one thing that's been a steady theme throughout our podcasting is RPGs. We've certainly done a lot more of them recently and different ones, but one of the original ones that we've all played is D&D, and I couldn't not mention it. You know, it's been fundamental. Well,
I was waiting for something from Sid there.
we're not all fans of it these days. Okay, fair enough. Each to their own. But I've had some pretty incredible times playing D&D, and it's got some really fond memories for me. I think we've all got characters that we've had in D&D that you think back and you just think about all the japes and the hilarious adventures they got into. You know, whether you're on the tour or you're trying to...
Bloody tour.
You are welcome.
Or you're trying to become the most famous bard in all the land and irritating basically the entire Sword Coast. You know, there's so many good memories that we've had in that game. I think it would be remiss of us, for at least one of us, not to mention it.
I'm gonna counter Sid a little bit here, because I know where Sid's coming from. I think what happened is me and Sid got tired of 5th edition, and I think in this game of in this episode of favourites, I think we should say Dungeons and Dragons as a whole,
Yes.
rather than a particular edition, because we also played a bit of Pathfinder, which is effectively D&D with all the serial numbers changed. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been listening to the latest series of Glass Cannon, where they're playing Shadow Dark, which is like an old school revival, which means it's going back to like D&D basic, and I kind of want to re-explore some of that stuff where it's not got all the just unnecessary complexity and going back to basics. I think as a whole and as an influence, it can't be denied.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No, you're all right. This is why I'm so grumpy about it.
Because you're wrong.
No, well, I am wrong. Yeah, I am wrong, because what John said is really, really important here. And also what Steve's just said is, I fell out of love with the mechanics of 5th edition. That's where I fell out of love with D&D. I absolutely agree with John 100%. It was one of the most fun and entertaining parts of my life when it came at a time when we all needed it.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing, is it was just at the right point where we were starting to get into the parts of our lives. We were all drifting away a little bit. You know, we were moving slightly further away, or we were all starting to live slightly separate lives. Whereas before that, we were all really, we'd see each other most days. And I think what D&D did, it just arrived just at that sweet spot where it pulled us all back into the group together. And I cannot fault it for that. Some of my best gaming experiences, John, are in D&D as El Cockwind. and they are memorable to this day. And in fact, so much so, Baldur's Gate 3 arrived, my first character was Cockwind.
There you go.
So as much as I grump at D&D and things like that, I do, and I stand by that side of it as well. I think it's a frustrating system, but that doesn't take anything away from how much I've enjoyed, and how much I would encourage anybody else to at least try it and play it, because it's so accessible. There's so much resource out there, and it is popular for a reason. And I can't take anything away from it for that.
Do you know, it's because of D&D that I'm sat here on this podcast.
Yep.
Is that right?
Because that's it. I'm the outsider, because you guys all knew and worked with each other, and I just happened to get invited to come and play D&D with you. And then after a year or so of playing that, I joined the podcast. And this beautiful friendship has flourished between us all.
Yeah.
It began with a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow. There you go. And we're still playing it these days, because recently I ran a game in Worcester. It was a bunch of one-shots, but it kind of developed into multi-shots. And we ran one of the Sunless Citadel. I ran for a bunch of absolute newbies. So they'd never played D&D before, like one of them had. But even they'd only played it once. And they all loved it, absolutely loved it. Because, I mean, again, as the DM, I've played it for many, many years. I kind of, guided them through it and made them just do the basics. But even then, they didn't even need a character sheet, really. I mean, they did have their stats and stuff, and one of the players was, well, let's just say lax with the admin. But it didn't really matter. They still enjoyed it. They still had fun, and the whole team, even then, as newbies to role-playing, and they felt a bit sheepish to start with, because, you kind of have to get over that hurdle of, do I need to do a silly voice, or do I need to get into acting, and all this sort of stuff that we all end up doing and loving, and that's why we've developed our characters. But even they got past that, and they developed this little sort of party mechanic between them all, so each of them had an individual character flaw. One of the characters annoyed everybody else. Every party's got it, so it was great. It really brought them together, and they're still doing it now. I've had to step back from it for a little bit because we're doing other things on the podcast, but they're still going now, so I still have an open door. But yeah, it's brought another group of people together, and they're all of different ages. Some of them are 16, a few of them are closer to our age, so there's a really good mix of ages as well. So it's not just for people our age. It's for literally the youth. These guys are doing their GCSEs and their A-levels at the moment. That's how young they are. And they're still loving it. It's brilliant.
I bet there's being probably a big resurgence of it with the whole Stranger Things being broadcast as well.
Yeah, and the movie, of course. I think the movie brought a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, Rory. I think that movie was actually surprisingly good.
It was.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
It was really good.
Yeah. And that lovely touch to the cartoon near the end was just
that was
sublime.
That was cracking.
Rory.
Right. I am going to go with one of my all-time favourite games. Going to start strong with Seven Wonders Duel. This is obviously a two-player game based on the original Seven Wonders, but this two-player game is absolutely phenomenal. I love this game to pieces. I've blinged it. I've got both the expansions. I've got all the metal coins. It is essentially it's a tableau builder. It's a tableau building set collection game. You have a pyramid of cards in front of you between you and your opponent, and you are drawing a card from that tableau and putting it into your own set, and they give you the abilities to buy more and do more things and score points. It's a really simple system that's really easy to teach. I think it's incredibly accessible, and one of the things I love about this game, and games that do this are always my favourite, multiple paths to victory. There are 3 or 4 if you include the expansion, so it's that juggling of expectations and strategies. You're trying to do this, you're trying to stop your opponent do that, and it's getting that balance between what you want to do and what you don't want them to do. It's an absolutely phenomenal game. 2 years ago they came out with the Duel for Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings skin. So I'm going to bundle 2 into 1 here, which takes that core engine and does something slightly different with it, with the collecting the ring and the tracker, which is the ring racer.
Absolutely shit hot that version is.
It's brilliant. It
I
really
think that's
is.
an excellent incarnation of Seven Wonders.
And it changes it changes enough. It changes a lot. It's similar to the way the
Again,
Fellowship does.
Yeah, just like Fellowship, it shouldn't work. A D&D version of Seven Wonders Duel should not work.
No.
But it does.
It does, and it works really, really well, and it carries that narrative of those stories into that game that otherwise was quite abstract. Seven Wonders Duel is one of my most played games. It's one of those that if people said I'm into board gaming, I'd like to try board gaming, where do I start? I was like, is it just you and your other half? Seven Wonders Duel is absolutely the place to start, and it's brilliant.
I can't disagree, Rory. I think it's brilliant. It's one of the games that Alora and I take on holiday every time we go somewhere.
Yeah.
We take it every time because it doesn't take up much table space. It's quick. It's 15, 20 minutes, if that, once you get used to it. I think it takes longer to set it up than it does to actually play. It's wonderful, and it's, as you say, it's got 3-4 ways to win. So you can tilt, you can balance, you can screw your opponent over by taking the card they want, or you can not take a card they want access to. So they have to do something you want. There's this wonderful to and fro across it. It's incredibly deep actually for such a simple game.
And this is a beautiful element of chance as well, isn't it? You know, when you're taking cards from the central tableau, you go, I want that card, but that's going to reveal 2 cards for Steve. If that reveals the card that he needs, that's a massive boon to him. Or do I take this card that I don't really want so that Steve is then forced to do that reveal? There's just that little element of chance and that little element of pushing your luck, of risk, which as you get to know the game more, that becomes more exciting as well. There's a lot in that game, and it's always going to deliver, and I'm always going to want to play it. And for about 20 quid as well, you can get this. It's absolute steal.
It's a bargain. Yeah. Great game. Solid choice. Back to Mr. Gill.
I mean,
you've got to think again, mate.
That's a challenging first round of games to follow up on.
It's not a competition.
Well, it's not, and I'm not going to treat it as such because I'm going to go and drop a couple of little belters in here, which I've had way too much fun with for what they are. So I've got a couple of Hachette wonders coming out here now, and it is going to be a two-parter. And the first one I want to talk about is Secret Identity. Right, and this little game came as a little bit of a surprise up at Aircon one year, I think. And it's a how do I describe it? Social deduction game, I suppose. You've got 8 people's names in front of you, and you all randomly draw one of these people, and you have to describe that person to the rest of the table through pictographs. And they're abstract pictographs. You know, it's like aubergines and hot dogs and beach like umbrellas and arrows and smiley faces and just little line art drawings. And you've got things that reinforce your person and things that are not your person. So everyone can see all the 8 choices, 8 potential choices that it could be. And it's a case of you pass your board around and somebody puts their guess into the board and passes it round. And it just goes around like that. I think this is the reason this is in my list is because every time it comes out, it creates this wonderful, happy atmosphere. People get really excited. They get like, what is this nonsense that you've given me? Why have you put that in there? How can that possibly be that person? Or somebody realizes that there's 2 characters that are very similar on the board and they've put the wrong one in as they've drafted it around themselves. And it's honestly, I just think it's one of those games that it came out of nowhere for me. And then I looked and found out more about it. And it won Expo 2022's best game of best party game or something like that. So it comes with pedigree, this thing. and it just surprised me, and I loved it for that.
Well,
Absolutely loved it.
we love it too. It's a really great game, especially, as you say, it's a party game mostly because it play up to 8 players, I think it is.
Yeah, 8 players.
But it's incredibly simple. It's even more fun when you've had a few drinks.
Oh yeah,
The guessing
every time.
gets fluid and fragrant, but it is a really clever game. It's really simple. Guess the thing, pass it on. Guess the thing, pass it on. Swear because you've done it wrong, and then question what on the name of God is this person on when they've tried to describe a hamburger with a cat. Things like that. It's a very, very cool game, and it's incredibly nicely produced as well. I mean, it's all cardboard.
It is,
But
and
it's
it's
a lovely
very
magnetic flap, which is very pleasing.
Yeah, and it's very conducive to, as you said, it's very conducive to taking to the pub, which is where I've played this game most.
Don't look at me like that, Tudor. It is it's a very lovely piece of engineering.
It is.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. It's just a lovely magnetic flap.
Who doesn't like a magnetic flap?
Exactly. You close it down, you slot the key in, and it just works. It is very, very satisfying to do that little click, and in it goes.
I don't think I've played this game, but it does sound a lot like Scrawl to me.
It's like a not shit Dixit would be the way I describe it.
Which is good because Dixit is shit. Actually,
Dixit is dog shit.
I hate Dixit. It's rubbish.
I really like it.
Disagree. I kind of sit between the two of you. I think Dixit is actually quite good, but it outstays its welcome by a factor of about 1,000. If Dixit went to about 5 or 10 points, it'd be fine. 30 points is way too much.
Yeah, but this one, I think the way it's paced and the way it plays out is, people want it to come back. Like every time we've taken it out and introduced new people, they've gone, next time we show board games. Oh, you bringing that Secret Identity with you? Yeah, okay, I'll bring it. And it plays in 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and you're done. So you can play it quickly and go round again. I just think it's a fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic game.
Good choice.
Agree.
So, now that you've mentioned magnetic flaps,
Here we go.
right? My second one, I'm just going to sneak in under the radar, purely for how much fun I've had from this game, which is basically a balancing game of an elephant on a plank, on a pirate's plank, and it is of course the almighty and the all great Stomp the Plank, right? I stand by this game. I think this game is stupidly good for a push your luck, just random nonsense of a game, and it makes people laugh. It's done what it's done right now with all of yous. It's so you're literally drawing cards from a stack, right? And if you and they've all there's 5 or 6 potential cards that can type of card that can be pulled. If you pull 2 the same, you go bust, right? Aim is to get 5 different cards on the table in front of you. You mess it up, you have to move your elephant forward, and if you stick before you go bust, you give everyone else a couple of wooden coins,
Weights essentially, aren't they? Yeah,
weights to put on the end of their plank, so it's more likely that their plank's going to fall as they move their elephant forward, right? That's it. That is literally the game.
I cannot stand push your luck games, but I adore this one because there's nothing else to it. It's just 100% push your luck. There's no bells, there's no whistles, there's no frills, there's no other mechanics. It's just this one thing with a little. You go all these cards. You just stick, twist, That one choice, and it becomes so tense and so annoying and so. I just want to scream when I go bust, when I'm sure I was on 4 cards. I just need one more. I love it. I love this game. It is brilliant. And it's the type of thing I can play it with the kids and have a whale of a time. And I can play it with my mates at family gatherings after a few beers and have exactly the same amount of fun. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it works on many levels, that one.
So I remember when we first played this, we played it at Expo. I think it was Expo 23, Sid.
I think you're right.
And I also remember one of our Expo awards is the Shelf Dodger, which is the game which doesn't make it to the shelf, it gets played. And this game won because your son wanted to play it in the car park of the Expo. couldn't even get it as far as the car when he was unwrapping the cellophane. Go, come on, we're going to play it now.
I also remember that we were playing this with Flav at Expo. And it started off as quite a quiet, I can't remember who was playing. Maybe it's me and Andy or me and Rory. I can't remember who it was. But there's two of us playing this game. And it started off quite quietly. And then slowly we were just getting more and more animated about how we're playing it. And suddenly you look around and there's this absolute crowd of folk just watching us playing Stop the Plank, getting more. And it's getting tense. Folk are on the edge. Is he going to stick? Is he going to twist? Where's he going
It was
next?
like a TV show, wasn't it? Should he twist? Should he stick? Ooh, stick. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. It was brilliant.
This in amongst all the games we're going to talk about, and we should really move on from it, but this is simple. This is as basic as gaming gets, and its simplicity is its pure joy, and I love it for that, and that's why it makes my list.
Fair play.
Good job.
Solid reasoning.
No, Dr. Lewis, raise the tone from my party games.
I shall.
So
Don't
different,
worry.
isn't it?
You are not wrong, Rory. I'm not going to go as far as to say you're right, but you are not wrong. No, you don't get a click for that.
I don't have a
That's
click
just
for
cheap.
not being wrong.
That's,
Okay.
that's just cheap. No, I'm going to go to the very other end of the gaming spectrum here, and I am going to select a big fat heavy Euro. And to probably everybody's surprise, it's not going to be a Vital Lacerda game. It is, in fact, I know, gasps all round. It is, in fact, Trickerion by Mind Clash Games.
I wasn't even expecting it to be that, to be fair.
Oh, really?
You have surprised me, Mr. Lewis, yes.
Excellent. Good. I have to keep you all on your toes. This is a... Well, it's difficult to explain. It's basically, you play as magicians. And so basically stage magicians, not wizards, as we've already had D&D. This is the other type of magician. This is the magician that is one step lower than a comedian, allegedly, according to comedians. Where you are trying to become the most famous magician of them all. And by way of a combination of programming, worker placement, and almost networking as well. So there are kind of 3 or 4 different elements to the game. And it's complicated to say the least, and because it has this programming action where you're basically saying, I want to send my people to these locations on the board to do these things, not unlike Robo Rally or something like that, John, and people can get in your way. They can't shoot you in the face like they can in Robo Rally.
Or better still, the back.
But they can get in your way. So whenever you go to a location, you will get a certain number of things that you can do. And if somebody goes there before you, you will get fewer things that you can do. So there's always this sort of race to get to a position first to get the most out of each of your operations. Once you've done that, you'll build contraptions that will basically show off tricks. So you can escape from water, you can break chains, you can produce butterflies from your armpits, whatever it happens to be. And each of these tricks has performed part of a massive show, which will get you points. Somebody else will lead the show, and you can make these lovely little sort of mosaic shapes as forms this sort of network, which gets you bonuses, and the whole thing sort of fits together beautifully. And it will break your brain. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm fortunate enough to have the big fat sexy collector's edition, which has got goodness knows what else in it. There's a bunch of extra expansions, which I haven't actually played yet because the base game is complicated enough. But it is beautiful. The artwork is incredible. It's this kind of wonderful kind of almost Art Deco steampunk, if that makes sense. If you have a look at the artwork, it will make sense to you. So you've kind of got this wonderful 1930s aesthetic, but it's got kind of steampunk feel to it. It's absolutely wonderful game. Explaining it to people, as I've just tried to do now in 2 seconds, is very, very hard. Trying to learn the game is even harder. But once you get it and you start playing it, you think, this is just bloody marvellous. It's killing me and my brain hurts, but I'm enjoying it. It's an absolutely wonderful game. And, of course, it has a solo mode by David Turksey. Of course it does.
Now, I've played this with you, Andy, and I also feel partly responsible for this.
It's your fault I own it, so you are entirely responsible for it. There's no partly about it. You said, Andy, have you ever heard of Trickerion? I said, no, Steve. Why? He says, because you're going to really enjoy it. And you were right.
That's all I said.
Yes.
I didn't have to do anything else. I think we might have been at the Minecraft stand at Expo.
Yes,
And I just
or
went,
near it.
have you seen this, Andy? I think you really like this.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's gone and thrown all his money at it.
Actually, no, I did actually just buy the base game to start with.
Did you?
Yeah, and then Minecraft then did a Kickstarter later on that kind of upgraded it all to the collector's edition because they had this sort of super sexy Kickstarter. And I thought, yeah, sod it, I might as well. Annoyingly, because Trickerion's actually quite a long game, understandably so. It's a good 3 to 4 hours, even for experienced players. There's a lot going on. But I don't get to play it as often as I would like, mostly for that reason. But every time I do, I just love it. It's just wonderful. It fills me with so much joy.
I think I have played it, and I'm pretty sure it did melt my brain. That's my lasting memory of it.
It's so many mini games was the thing. It's like you've got to do here to get jigsaw pieces, and here to put those jigsaw pieces in place, and then I need to do a show, but I haven't booked the show. Oh crap!
Yes, and you get bonuses for depending on which day of the week you put your show on, because no, everyone wants to go on a Friday and Saturday, so there's no particular bonuses there. But nobody wants to go on a Sunday, so you get a bit of extra time and arsing around because you've got to set your things up, you've got to demonstrate. Oh, it's just so good, and then you can buy staff who help you out. You can get a manager, and it's just also wonderfully thematic. It's probably one of the most thematic Euros I think I've ever played, because it all makes sense. It's one of those rare events where the mechanics of the game and the theme of the game fit so very well. And I think in Euros especially, that's quite a rare thing, because usually you'll get Euro mechanics with the theme sort of painted on, but it's so veneer thin that it doesn't really matter. But Euros aren't about that. But this is one of those rare examples where the two really do mix together so very well, and that is why it is one of my favourite games.
Still beige though, isn't it?
It's yes, actually, yeah. Well, the base game it's so various flavours of sort of yellowish brown. I can't deny that. But one of the major expansions is actually lots of blue, so it's beige and blue. So it's not quite so bad. But the Trickerion stone shards are yellow, so that's okay. That's not quite so bad.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
there
a
you go.
million miles away from beige and brown, isn't it?
Steve, have you got something less beige for us?
Well, no, I won't do that.
Oh, go on. I know which one you were thinking of.
No, I'm going to leave that one that's my last choice. Now, I'm going to struggle with this third choice, partly because I didn't want to do two games that have similar feel to them. And also, what I did, I went into to try and work out this list and update it. I went into Pub Meeple. Ever been on this website?
Yeah.
You can look at your BGG collection and basically you can do an A/B comparison. You can look at which games you've ranked 8, 9, or 10 and do a comparison. And what got me was how many games in my top 15, 20 were Fantasy Flight games.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've mentioned Mansions of Madness already, which was in my top 10. I should add.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, there's a lot of games there which are also in my top 10. Now, I was going to talk about Eldritch Horror, but for some of the reasons that I think it covers a lot of what's in Mansions of Madness, and not thematically, but feeling-wise, it's going to cover what my main game is, what I'm going to talk about later. So I wanted to mention the Dudes on the Map game, and I must admit I was torn here between Star Wars Rebellion and Twilight Imperium.
Oh, I'm intrigued to see what you picked.
Yeah, Twilight Imperium because it's such an event.
Yeah.
But Star Wars Rebellion because we talked about thematic games and IPs, and we talked about Lord of the Rings a few times now, and I think Star Wars Rebellion really does get that theme of playing the entire Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy, in one single game. And I think it just pips Twilight Imperium, and it's not by much, I must admit. But this is a game in which, in the face of it, it looks like your typical dudes on a map game. You've got one side's playing the Empire, one side's playing the Rebellion. The Empire's got loads of Star Destroyers, troops, AT-ATs, all kinds of things. The Rebellion's got a handful of X-Wings and cruisers and just things they can build. But it's not about open warfare, because this game is completely asymmetrical. The Empire's job is to find and destroy the Rebel base. That's it. They have no other objectives. The Rebellion, however, has to basically stir up enough support in the populace that the populace wants to overthrow the Empire. And it does that by doing things by doing missions, and these missions move a tracker along. And basically, what happens is there's two trackers: the turn tracker and the rebellion tracker. And when these meet, the rebels have won. Basically, doing that line, you have made time an ally of the rebellion. And it works so well because it doesn't matter which side of this game you play. You think this is the hardest game, and the other side have got it easy.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's tipped against the Empire.
So when you play in the Empire, you're like, there's only so many planets. I've investigated them all by now. Surely he hasn't moved the rebel base. And of course, the rebels can move the base.
There's 15 planets left.
But I've got troops everywhere. They can't move. How is he doing this? Whereas as the rebels, you've got to do these missions, and you're constantly going, "Oh, he's got Darth Vader just sitting there in reserve. So if I put someone in this mission, he's just going to plug Darth Vader in it, and everything's over." So I've got to be very careful about how I set up my missions here. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it is such a clever game to not only be based on an IP, but actually based on a video game from like 2003 or something daft like that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's ironically the same name, Star Wars Rebellion. It's a really clever game, and along with all these other games I looked at, it did make me lament the kind of death of Fantasy Flight games. And I know some of these games are coming back soon. They're going to do this vault, aren't they, where they're doing like a Kickstarter to reprint some of the older games.
Oh.
But it does feel like, I think a lot of my favourite games are kind of old school Fantasy Flight games, and I really do miss them.
No, I agree. They really are. Fantasy Flight really are masters of the sort of dice chucking thematic fun game, even if some of them are quite long or heavy. TI and Star Wars Rebellion both are probably clocking in at 4 to 5 hours games. No.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you never notice. You know, you start your game, you think, oh, I've only played for half an hour. 4 hours have passed and it's dark, you know.
Shit, I've missed my train.
Yes, genuinely. But it is, I can't disagree, Steve. Every time I've played this, curiously just against you, it has been just a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's such a clever game. All the mechanics work together really, really well. It's surprisingly mechanically simple, even if there's quite a lot going on. It is literally just decide to put dudes on the map, play cards with them to say this is what they're all going to do, unbeknownst to your opponent, whilst either there's a doom tracker or a production facility ticking on in the background, depending on which side you're on. And it's ace, because you can never build ships fast enough, I've noticed, as the Rebellion.
Yes.
Why does it take 5 years to build a Death Star? How hard can it be?
They're not that big, are they?
That ain't no moon, but it's a top choice. Really great game.
Definitely. And your middle name is pretty much Star Wars, right, Steve? So,
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Well, I thought it was Star Wars Cthulhu.
oh, maybe.
Imagine if there was a Star Wars Cthulhu game that came out. What would that do to Steve?
Lose sanity.
Will he implode or explode?
Mr. Cage.
All right. Well, I mentioned some storytelling in my previous one. I was trying to think about all the different sorts of games that I still play to this day. And one thing that still keeps coming out, whether you like it or not, sorry, Rory, is Galaxy Trucker. I mean, I
Oh, phew, I thought he was going to say Talisman. Then.
No, I thought about including it for shits and giggles, but I don't play it anymore. So,
Because it's shit.
all right, let's leave it lie, shall we? So yeah, Galaxy Trucker is
Sorry, Cooch. I know we are having a reminisce episode, and one of the first reviews we ever got. Great podcast. Just wish John would stop fucking talking about Talisman.
Yeah, we wish that as well.
Yeah, by Andy Lewis.
Mandy Spewis wrote in at the time, yes.
it only took me 10 years. I'd forgotten about it, and you guys brought it up for the record. Yeah, Galaxy Trucker is, if you've never played it before, it's a bit of a crazy race across the galaxy. And the first bit is you all try and build your ships at the same time in real time, which I think is the bit that Roy hates the most because it stresses him out.
No, don't like that.
You have to build a ship and it has to be correct. And if you screw it up, that's the first bit of things going wrong, because the bits of ship that don't fit on get blasted away and you lose some points. Then you have to fly it across the galaxy, and all sorts of shit happens at that point, whether it's pirates or space dust or all sorts of shenanigans going on. And as you're doing these things, your ships are gradually getting blown to pieces, so much so that I'd say most games, at least one person will end up just limping like 2 engines and a cargo hold across the finish line. And sometimes that's enough to win. It's a good fun game. It's a really easy one to teach. People get it in no time, and I don't think I've ever played it and people not enjoyed it. Even if they've had their ship blown up, there's still an element of the craziness. If you what's the word? Endorse it. If you get on with it, it's a great fun game to play. Even now.
Apart from Rory.
Apart from Rory.
And if you also add that CGE recently kind of revitalised it, did like an upgraded edition, which included some of the expansions and smoothed out some of the edges, new artwork all over the place, and just released the expansion for that as well, which we played just before Christmas, with loads more chaos. I mean,
is that where you lot your entire ship through a chain explosion?
I had some explosive cargo on, and yes, one of them went off, and which blew the next one up, which blew the next one up, which blew the next one up, and I lost half my ship in one single tiny pea-sized meteorite.
Nice.
That would upset me so much. Just hearing you say it, I would be like, oh. I don't enjoy hearing the story, let alone imagining myself play it.
I still remember playing it with you, Rory, and I thought you were going to flip my dining table.
But let's keep the negativity out. That's a good choice, John. For you, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
For you.
Thanks very much.
Such a passive-aggressive asshole.
Eloquently put, yes, lovely.
Water off a duck's back. Thanks, Rory.
Well done for picking a game you like, John. Well done.
I've done well.
You want to pinch his cheeks and then...
Well done for taking part, yes.
Well done, John. You didn't completely screw it up.
Look, I'm keeping the negativity out, okay? This is a party episode. I'm trying to keep upbeat.
This is why 5 years ago I left, God damn it.
What, my passive aggressiveness?
The ritual abuse. I'm regretting coming back for the episode, for the anniversary now. It's coming back to me.
Moving on, Mr. Summers, with your
Okay.
wave of positivity.
My wave of positivity is going to wash over you all when I talk about my love for Ark Nova. Now, I bought Ark Nova knowing absolutely nothing about it other than the fact that it was about building a zoo, because I love, back in my PC gaming days, zoo builders and zoo simulators. I just love that. It's just something I enjoy.
Do you know what, Rory?
Yeah?
I think this was my fault again.
Yeah?
Because you were going to back a Kickstarter, which was like a board game make of a zoo game.
Zoo Tycoon, the board game, yeah.
Zoo Tycoon. And you said, oh, you showed me a link to it and go, what do you think about this? And I said, I don't know, it looks a bit shonky, this. And you go, but I really want a zoo game. And I said, oh, you need to play Ark Nova then.
Quite possibly it might be your fault, yeah. Thank you, in which case.
Point of order. The fact that this is a 10th anniversary show is entirely your fault, Gaffer. You are culpable for the whole shooting match.
Well, yeah, true.
Good or bad.
I blame beer.
Beer and
Definitely
board
had a
games.
hand in all of this.
Absolutely
Yes.
did, yes.
She's a cruel mistress.
What was it Homer said? It is the cause and solution to all of life's problems. He ain't wrong. A wise man, Mr. Simpson.
Wise man.
Anyway, Rory, more
Yeah.
on Ark Nova.
So Ark Nova is a zoo building game. It's got a huge deck of cards, and you're going to try and sift through this deck of cards, drawing them into your hand, and hopefully having enough resources to pay for them to go down once you've built your enclosures. And you're looking to build these synergies across these cards, getting different types or from different countries to score conservation points, because this game isn't necessarily about earning lots of money for your zoo. It's about getting conservation and having a successful zoo. And it has... We mentioned Star Wars Rebellion, how you get those two markers when they meet. That ends the game. Same here. I fell in love with this game once I got over how many icons there are and all their meanings that you need to remember. But I adore this game, and again, it's one of those. When thinking about this list of what games do I talk about tonight, it was which games have I spent an inordinate amount of money blinging out? And both Seven Wonders Duel and Ark Nova, I've spent at least 3 times the value of the game blinging the game out. So my version is really pretty. So it's like, well, it's got to be Ark Nova. I adore this game, and I will play it gladly anytime.
I will happily play it with you, mate, because I think it's a great game as well. I remember when we first started talking about it, I lovingly referred to it as terraforming zoos.
You did.
Because obviously its base mechanic is quite similar to another game of a similar name.
Well, you're looking for card synergies in a big deck of cards, yeah.
And lots of icons. But I mean, Steve and I have given Terraforming Mars a bit of a stick, but we don't hate it, contrary to popular opinion. But I think Ark Nova takes that core mechanic and builds upon it so well. You know, you've got the extra hex problem of the actual locations of all your zoos. You've got all of the additional things that you build, the way that you learn knowledge. You've got collaborations across the world with all of the other bits and bobs going on with promotional things. You've got that idea that you can build. Is it the collaboration ones where you get all the ongoing benefits and stuff that you can use to build up your
just the way you take
as well.
Your actions, that sliding of you get the 5 different actions, and the longer it stays there, the more powerful it gets. So you need this rotation of your actions. That mechanism itself, I've not seen anywhere before, and I absolutely love that. And they're trying to plan ahead 2, 3, 4 turns in advance. That
You
this
should
is going to
play
happen.
Civilization: A New Dawn, because that uses exactly the same one.
What is it?
Initially predates Ark Nova. Also, another Fantasy Flight game, weirdly. But yeah, it uses exactly the same thing. 5 cards. The longer it stays there, the more powerful the action can be. But yeah, it's very simple, but very, very effective.
This used to be Rory's and I's skiving off at Christmas game.
It was our first one, wasn't it? Was this our first Christmas winter skive?
I think we've done it. I think we've done it on 2 occasions for our winter skive.
Oh, we still need to get this year's winter skive in.
We do. We. My fault this year. We missed our winter skive.
Well, we missed our December. That's why we've extended it to a whole season. We'll do it. We'll do it soon. But that's me. But Sid, do you want to bring us home with game number 3/4, depending on how you want to count them?
My 3rd time of speaking is how I'm going to count. My official 3rd turn.
It's definitely pushing it.
No. I'm picking one, and I'm pleased that John's already talked about an RPG, because he has opened up the floor to me putting on one of my most favorite RPGs in the world, and what actually took me away from D&D, and that is Coriolis from Free League. Right, and this game brought so many emotions. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It gave me some of my finest RPG experiences ever. And it's from a game which is fundamentally fucked.
That's an
It's go that far, but I can see your point.
Its rulebook is right. But what it does, and it's shit because it's old. It's a 1st edition. It is now being revamped as a 2nd edition, and there's new things coming out for it. All those stuff. But this game, it's about what is it? It's like a kind of Moroccan Sinbad in space kind of game.
It's kind of Firefly-ish
It is.
in its
But
in its
rather
feel.
than being a western in space, it's a kind of
Church in space.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a complicated game. It's got, and that's one of the finest things. But there's an entire lore around this game, which is all about people traveling from Earth and finding these gates that take them to what is eventually called the Third Horizon. Some people go through the gates, some people go there through generational ships. And the 2 groups don't necessarily see eye to eye. It causes friction. It's got religious tensions in it. It's got personal tensions in it. It's got technology. It's got spaceships. It's got this fantastic feel of Northern Africa that runs through it in such a beautiful way. And we've played 2 out of 3 of the main campaign of this book.
Yeah, I was going to say this. You probably say this is all through the lens
Yeah.
of the Mercy of the Icons campaign.
Yeah. So this is pre the Great Dark, or whatever the new one's called. And Steve and I have not gone back to this with our group and finished off the 3rd book. Now, we will say it's because of time, because we've got other things to play. I don't think it is. I think it's because we don't want it to end. Because as soon as we do that 3rd book, we don't get to live in this universe anymore and play that game with the group of people that we're playing this game with. I just think this is one of the most glorious RPG experiences ever.
I have to wholeheartedly agree with you, Mr. Gill. It is absolutely epically good. It is a wonderful, rich tapestry of religion, of culture, of science, of batshit crazy tech, of a weird-ass vision of the far future. Not quite as batshit crazy as 40k, thankfully, but not far off it. And the way that it kind of smashes culture, religion, and science all together, and it all feels at home. None of it feels like it's just been shoehorned in. It's got this. It's literally they've just taken a dollop from each tub and stuck it in a blender and gone, right, have at it, and it works so well. It's such a rich universe. The lore behind it, despite the, let's say, administrative oversights in the manual, it works so well. And I think it is. I think it's hit the nail on the head that I think we've started to love in our particular gaming group. Certainly the five of us that played it, that we do value storytelling over mechanics, and I think Coriolis gets it absolutely right, or at least it did for us. Obviously, mileage may vary for other groups, but for us, I think it worked really well. The rules are light enough that they can be present without being overwhelming, but it allowed us to get our story on, and everyone in that game really grabbed hold of it with both hands, developed wonderful characters. The interplay between the characters was incredible, and I think that's what really made it, set against this incredibly vibrant backdrop and a great story as well, which really helped.
Oh, it's superb.
It was
Absolutely superb.
I seriously, I have to agree with you completely. It was a wonderful experience.
To run it was an interesting one because the story is I think the story is very, very good. Just sometimes the campaign books have a bad way of piecing it together in a way you can understand. It's not a game you can just pick up the book and run this Mercy of the Icons campaign. You do have to put some work in. But I remember that moment when we came to the end of the 2nd book, and there's a revelation, and it's a massive revelation. It's something which I don't think most RPG settings will be brave enough to do. And the entire evening was silent.
It was a proper kick to the scrotum, it really was.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were all in so much shock that you didn't know what the hell had just happened. And yeah, I'm with you, Sid. I want to see the end of it because I flicked through the 3rd book, so I know where the story goes. Interestingly enough, that ending means you can have a big gap between playing the 2nd and 3rd book because things have gone to shit a bit, so that you can pick it up later. But yeah, at the same time, you're right, Sid. You kind of don't want it to end because we know it's over when we do that.
Exactly.
But maybe that's it. Maybe we need to rip the Band-Aid off, as you say, and just get on with it.
I don't know if I want to.
I do.
I've already lost one character in this game that made me literally cry.
He was in mourning, genuinely. He was in mourning for 2
tatters.
weeks.
Absolute tatters.
Funny.
It made all the rest of you cry as well. So don't you start acting like all the big hoo-ha.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I know, and I genuinely
Did though.
Absolutely joyous book, and as I say, it is the rules are being revised, and those rough edges are being knocked off it, which is good for it.
I mean, to add things, I know we had criticisms of the new version because we played the quick start and wasn't happy with it, but I backed that. That's all arrived. I'm hearing very, very good things about that campaign as well. a lot of people saying that's a phenomenal campaign. Although annoyingly not in, it's in the kind of adjacent universe rather than directly in it. But yeah, I absolutely fantastic.
I'm still quite upset that I didn't get to play the first lot. So if you want to try the other
Well-
part, I would certainly be well up for that.
There is a part of me, John, as well, that wonders about whether I rerun the Third Horizon, knowing that you guys have already done it, so I can see what differences you do. And basically, because I did some tweaks of my own when we started playing that. For instance, when you make the game and you make your group, you're supposed to. It's very much like Firefly. You're supposed to make a crew for a ship and choose a ship. But I did my own setting where you came together as a disparate group and stole a ship effectively. And I think it made such a massive good start to the story that I would do this again.
What was it called? The Fatima.
Fatima's Bounty.
Fatima's Bounty.
Yeah.
And we lost
Yeah.
the Red Grave, didn't we?
We did lose the Dread Grave, yeah. Well, it was taken from us. We didn't lose it.
Parked it in the wrong place.
You did. You decided to take a shuttle to the middle of a black hole, and then funnily enough got sicked into the black hole and got lost through time and space for 6 months.
Mistakes were
Yeah.
made.
Could have been worse.
Actually, the amount of times in that campaign where your bad dice rolls got me out of a narrative corner was amazing. Several times I thought, this is going nowhere. We're stuck. Hang on, you're going to go for a portal without doing the calculations. Oh, you've rolled really badly.
Someone put us in a coma for 6 months of game time. I remember that. Yeah, we're just floating around in space eating sausage rolls, not knowing what was going on. And by the time we woke up, everything had changed.
Yep.
Right then, we need to keep this show
We
moving,
do.
folks. Otherwise, we can talk about Coriolis for an entire episode,
Yeah,
I
we
think.
could.
Andy, can you please pick a game?
Oh,
The last
I
game.
can't now because I'm now torn between two very different types of game, actually, now. Looking at my list, and everyone else can see it, I am really struggling. But we've just mentioned things that have that we've realised as we've got older, as in, we've gone for story and theme and things like that over other things. So I think on that note, I am going to have to choose Unfathomable and Battlestar Galactica. It's a very close run thing between these two and Tzolk'in or Teotihuacan. It really
I was
is.
going to say, I thought you were going to flip it and say, and now I'm going to talk about Dry Burrow and Euro.
No, I kind of want to, but I'm not, because I've found myself over the last 12 months reaching for Unfathomable and, by correlation, I suppose, BSG, because they're effectively the same game, a lot more. Partly because of player count, but also because I've really, really started to love hidden traitor games. I adore them, possibly because I'm quite good at them, because, I don't know, I just have a knack of being a dick. But life skill and all that.
It's innate.
It's in the DNA, but putting it to good use in a game is even more satisfying. And I really do think that Battlestar Galactica, which has then been reskinned to Unfathomable, which is essentially the same game but set in the Arkham Horror Cthulhu universe again by Fantasy Flight Games, was a great idea on FFG's part to bring it into the Arkham universe, but also kind of re-release the game without re-releasing the game, if that makes sense. Because obviously BSG was based on the TV series, which is 15, 20 years old now, and then of course there's the original series in the 70s.
The original series, mate.
Was in the 70s. If you let me finish, I was about to say the original was in, the 70s, 80s?
Yeah,
Which then got
80s.
redone in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah,
Which obviously, the board game's based on the 2000s version. But Unfathomable has kind of knocked a few corners off that, stuck it in an Arkham trench coat, and stuck you on the SS Atlantica, crossing the Atlantic Ocean from England to
Innsmouth.
Well, I don't know if I think it's New York actually, but the eastern coast of America. It might be Innsmouth, but I don't think Innsmouth is big enough to accept a liner. But anyway, the idea being that you've got to try and get across there if you're a human, and you've got to try not to get across there if you are not. And that's all done through basically crises every round. You do a secret vote with a bunch of cards, and that's the way that the bad guys can tip the game in their favour, but they have to do it subtly. If you push your luck too much, you're going to get found out. And this wonderful, wonderful balance and tension. And then halfway through the game, almost all bets are off because another round of identities come out, so you're still never sure of who's doing what and why and how. There's different roles. And the whole thing is in this wonderful melting pot of this boat that's just being assaulted on all sides by Deep Ones, Mother Hydra, and Father Dagon, obviously, are both characters from Lovecraft's novels. And I just love it. I think it's just such a great, fun game that everyone always thinks, well, this is rubbish, my cards are rubbish. But yes, of course, everybody's cards are rubbish. But it's a case of playing the right thing at the right time, or the wrong time, that makes that difference.
Or at least making the best of a bad hand.
That kind of collective contribution to the success, because you get challenges effectively, don't you? You get a score you have to meet, and everyone has to contribute to achieving that score with cards that they have in their hands, and that's one of the ways that the traitors can mess things up for you. By not playing a strong card, or by playing too strong a card, so that the bad thing happens, tips it the wrong way. It's a bloody brilliant game. It really is.
I have very fond memories of flushing Steve out of an airlock.
I thought you were going to say that. I cannot mention this game without talking about the finest and best social experiment version of this game I ever played, with our mutual friend Az, and I'm sure you'll be listening and say he wants to hear this, which is the time we played Battlestar Galactica and forgot to deal in the Cylons. So we played a full game with no Cylon cards, which means no traitors, 6-player game as well. Everyone was at everyone's throats because everyone thought there has to be 2 Cylon cards in the game by now, so there is at least one person as a Cylon, and everyone else going, it's not me. And I'm like, who the frick is it? Which one of you is a toaster? We lost due to our own mistrust of each other.
Absolutely superb.
Oh my God, that's
Outstanding. That's amazing.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I do love it. I mean, the last time. Actually, not last time, but one of my favourite times we played this was actually up at Aircon, I think, 2 years ago, when Steve was there as well.
It was 2 years, because I played it, yeah.
And just by chance, Steve and I ended up being the Cylons with a team of, I think, new players. They didn't know what hit them. This game usually takes about 3 hours. Steve and I had sunk the ship in an hour and a half.
Fair play.
No way we're getting to New York.
We got to be careful. We're mixing the two up as if they're one game.
They basically are.
Well, they are and they aren't.
They are and they aren't, so yeah. Maybe we should just mix it up one day and you've got to fly out your little ships to go shoot out some Deep Ones.
Unfathomable's a little bit slicker, I think.
It is. It doesn't have the fighter jets that BSG has, and I think for that reason it's slightly easier for the humans in Unfathomable because they've got less to worry about. But it
also fixes one of the main criticisms of BSG with people I played it with had, whereby if you were a pilot, it's pretty boring because your only real choice was to launch and go shoot down some ships. You couldn't really do anything else because that's what you were there for. So it could be a bit boring if you're a pilot character, but yeah.
It's pretty obvious you're a traitor as well if you don't go and do the one thing you're supposed to. Let's go loiter over here near this airlock. Hi, Steve. Hi. Yeah.
just checking it works.
Yeah. Have you seen this thing? Could you just grab that for me?
Brilliantly fun game.
My last pick, and if those who know me will not be surprised by this, though it's a completely different game to my ultimate pick last year, and that is Kingdom Death Monster. Because this is a game which hasn't just got my interest, it has consumed me. And Rory has said, he spent an awful lot of money on Ark Nova. Andy said he spent an awful lot of money on Nemesis.
And others.
Don't want to think how much money I've spent on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not a cheap game. So, for those who don't know, Kingdom Death Monster is a boss battling game in which you are trying to just survive. Best way I think about it is think of Monster Hunter, if you're into that kind of video game, or XCOM. Because what you're doing is you're fighting a monster, and when you fight that monster, that you get resources. So you've basically skinned the monster and got hide and bone and claws off it, and then you take it back home to your settlement, and then you use that to make weapons and armor or to innovate to get new technology. It's like XCOM because what will happen is you have to give your survivor a name, and you'll build that survivor up and you'll cherish them, and then of course they'll get eaten by a giant lion, or on the way to a hunt a random event will happen and they'll fall down a fissure and plummet to their death, or they'll go crazy and stab another player in the eyes. That's the other thing about this game. This game is like getting kicked in the stomach repeatedly because it is mean, and I love it for it. There is something so much fun about fighting against the boss and the boss suddenly doing something you go, oh, what? How am I supposed to counter that? Because everything is a surprise because you don't know what's in these decks. I think it's got a really cool boss battling system. I lamentably backed the Dark Souls Kickstarter after playing the demo game at, it wasn't Aircon, it was Salute one year. And I absolutely loved the game, and the game we played was the boss section of it. But when the full game came, I remember me and Andy played a game on Andy's giant dining room table, and both of us going by the end of it because of the grind, and you didn't actually get to the boss. Well, this is just the boss battler, and I think it actually is a better boss battler than even Dark Souls was, and I really enjoyed that. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's mean. Yes, I'm now on my 5th settlement because the other ones have died. Yes, I've spent far too much money on buying the base game, expansions of Death, the Gambler's Chest, the Frog Dog, several vignette expansions, and like Rory says, I've bought an insert, I've bought sleeves. This week, because we're about to start another campaign, I bought clipboards because it'd be easier to do the character sheets with clipboards around the table.
Look at the grin on his little face.
Pencils. I know.
I was
so happy,
I was planning on buying my own anyway, but which you've taken the joy of me going clipboard shopping away from me. But I'm also quite excited that there's one there for me as well. So it's 6 of
Do
1.
you go clipboard shopping with a clipboard?
No, I can remember the one thing I need to buy, and I want to focus on that one thing as well.
You know, you've cost myself and Rory money by telling us to buy games here, Steve.
Yeah.
At least we've accused you of such things. So I'm going to get my own back now. And given that you've spent an inordinate amount of money on Kingdom Death Monster, there is one thing you haven't bought. And that is the big plastic mat that's made up of lots of little sections that you have to stick all together that I watched Sarastro paint very lovingly some time ago. And I think you should get that.
Do you know what? You have to paint each square
Yes,
individually
you do.
because they come out.
Yes.
Because all the terrain pieces have also got 3D pieces that slot in.
Wow.
That's quite
It
cool.
is pretty cool, but yeah, that's my 2 spenny point. That thing. I think that's like £150 or something daft like that on its own, and you have to buy some of the terrain separately.
It's nothing compared to the expansion.
Maybe. But yes, I am absolutely obsessed with this game. As I said, we're about to start a new campaign. We were actually going to start it Monday, but one of our players couldn't make it, so we're actually starting next Monday. And I'm so excited to start this whole adventure again.
4 players. Yeah, I
can't
can't
wait.
wait. I'm so looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
4-player.
4-player.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
No, because Steve and I, despite the fact we finished playing our games night quite late last night, and whilst packing up SETI, we had a good long chat about all the things Steve's been reading about. Did you know we can do this? No, what does that do? Oh, it does this. Oh, we need some of that. Right. Steve and I have already got a plan for what we're doing in the next game before we've even introduced the new players to it. We know what we're doing.
No chance.
No,
all of that.
I'm glad you
all
said
of
that, Sid.
Irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant.
That'll get like the arsehole fall out of that.
Just
going
to disappear. We'll get some feedback on the next episode is exactly what happened here.
How badly it went.
And plans in the face of the enemy and all that. No chance.
So
TPK. My money goes on.
Well, TPK,
in the first hour.
Your first hour TPK. I was going to say, what lantern year do you think we're going to wipe and the settlement's going to get killed?
I think you'll get enough resources to go back to the settlement once and do the little bit of leveling up and maybe develop a kid or something if you're lucky. But then you're going to orphan that kid because you're going to go back out and then die.
Because the
we're
summer's
not going to
greed
do the
will take
second
over.
fight?
No,
Summer's
I don't
greed.
think you're going to get a second fight. I don't think so.
Wow.
I think you'll die.
early.
Sorry, I think you'll die in the second fight.
Okay.
That's where I think you'll get
Interesting.
to. Because you'll be a bit timid on the first one. Two new players, you kind of ease them in. It'll be the lion, presumably. Or are you getting something new?
Yeah. No, we're going to
Yeah.
do a vanilla campaign. Yeah,
So you'll start with the lion. The lion's fun. We like the lion. Kick him in the balls. Everyone knows the kick him in the
That
balls.
is a nice
tactic.
touch, actually. I quite like that
Right.
about the game. It's anatomically precise.
And then you'll go back. You'll be all buoyant. You'll be all like you are now. We got this, boys. We got this. And that hubris, the second enemy will take you down. That gets my money.
Well, we'll see. So, Mr. Cage, your final game.
Final game. It's tricky. You guys have named quite a few that I might otherwise have picked. So I was trying to think of other stuff that I play regularly. And one thing that regularly comes up is the kind of game where you've got to fit some odd shapes or some particular bits and pieces into certain slots. And I was torn between Tiny Towns, Blockus, and Sagrada. All still come up quite regularly in my gaming sessions when I do get a chance. I think the one that probably still comes up the most has got to be Tiny Towns, because it's a bit more varied than the other ones. And it's a bit more interesting. If you've never played it before, you get a little square tableau, and there's a bunch of resources in the middle, and a bunch of different types of buildings that you can build. And these buildings, they need different shapes, colours of blocks rather, and you have to put them in different shapes. When you get that shape, all the little blocks come off, and you pop a little building down. And you're trying to get synergies between those buildings to try and get the most points. It's relatively simple, but you choose different buildings at random each time, so it's a bit different. Everyone always makes mistakes. So something inevitably goes wrong, you forget that you need it in a slightly different orientation, or because other people are picking each turn what they want the block to be, people are the more savvy ones are looking around and looking at your board and going, you don't want another piece of stone, do you, John? No. Well, that's what I'm going to pick. Sorry, John. There are ways of playing it that avoid that mechanic if you don't like the gotcha aspect in that way. But it's something that still comes out to this day, and it's something that people, I think, in my gaming group at least, really enjoy it even now.
It is a really good game. Yeah.
With that alternative method, which you said, John, which is the card draw, which you get a random resource, technically there is an infinite number of players can play at the same time.
That's true. I guess,
Yeah.
if you had enough boards.
Which is they actually did during lockdown. They said, get your box of Tiny Towns out, and they did a video with the buildings and just reveal a card every few minutes, like on a timer. So every few minutes, just reveal the next card.
That's cool. I wish I'd known that was going on.
People all around the world were playing simultaneously. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. No, I like it. It's another game that we introduced to our group for newer players, or a game that we want to play in half an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really, really clever.
It's a great gateway game as well, this. It's really
definitely.
good. Really, really good.
That's the end of my list.
Right then, boys, I'm
Rory.
going to bring us home. I'm going to bring us
it.
home with the final game of our 10th anniversary episode. And I couldn't go without mentioning my mate Fabio Lopiano.
Of course you couldn't.
I couldn't do it.
Where's the badge?
The badge is over there, the other side of the room. I'm not.
He's got the picture just above
that's-
him.
yeah,
Look,
That's true.
There's the picture of me and
He's
Fabio.
had it framed. Oh, good God.
Have you noticed all of these games behind me? That's Fabio's collection. It's for the
Just
video
in case he
that
calls.
just in case he calls and we have a video chat.
Just pops round.
Right.
Don't. He's going to start an episode one week, and he's just going to have Fabio in the room with him.
Guest
That'd be
starring.
brilliant. Be a bit weird to have Fabio in my bedroom, but still. Moving on.
That's for a different sort of podcast.
My game is going to be Shackleton based, which is Fabio Lopiano and Nestor Mangon, and they did this with Sorry We Are French, and this was one of our top games of 2024. I absolutely love this game. It's got that really clever worker placement mechanic as you're placing your workers out onto the central board. And then it's all about area control, area dominance to how you get these workers back. So Steve could put a worker out, but I could win his one and it can go into my board that then activates my area and gives me more scoring opportunities. But the thing that I really, really love about this game is how modular it is. this game comes with all various different kind of corporations that you have to use. You pick 3 of them and you go with that, and they give you different mini mechanics, or they change and tweak the game in different ways, and they work together in different ways as well. They create these synergies or they don't, but you need to kind of work at all of them to score well. And because you're picking 3 of however many's in the box, I forget the number now, with more coming with the new expansion, it means you could play this game, I think I worked out, you could play this game 56 times before you started repeating the modular variations. 56 completely unique ways to play Shackleton base. And that for me was just, mathematically, it's brilliant. It blows my mind that they were able to design this and do this. But this game, it's one I haven't played in such a while, unfortunately. I haven't had a chance to, but I would love to play Shackleton base again. It is one of my all-time favourite games.
Well, hopefully we should be playing it again soon, because the expansion should be out soon, hopefully.
So I'd love to get it to the table again.
Oh, it's a fantastic game.
We should make some time, Rory, because I've never played it. Oh. I've heard you guys talk about it many times.
Yeah, lovingly so, lovingly.
It is a really big brain burner. It is one of these games where you kind of go, oh my God, I've got 5 things to consider. And because these modules change every game, you've got these 3 things which can interact differently each time as well, in quite drastic ways as well. And there is a lot of, because there's an area control element to it, there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of, oh crap, you've got that space. Oh, hang on, but if I build there, you having that space actually screws you up a bit. While at the same time doing all that heavy Euro thing of, making sure you've got the resources and you've got the engine in place to get you the resource next round and things like that. My only issue with the game is I'm terrible at it.
That was my issue as well, Steve.
but you're terrible because it is hard.
It is a hard game.
Yeah.
It's a hard game, and that asymmetry means that nobody can really help you other than the absolute generic mechanics of the game.
That's it. The learnings you get from one game, you can't carry those over into the next one. Really?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
So
you can carry a few things.
You and I are going to be permanently shit at that game.
I know, you just got to pay it. You just got to pay it 50.
You got to play it 57 times.
57 times. You'd be all right then.
You're assuming that you're going to remember the first few times.
Shackleton base is my final game. Yeah, lovely one.
Very clever game.
Well then, folks, I do believe that brings this to a close. That's 15 games. So going back to your question, Brendan, we didn't pick our 10 favourite games, and we didn't do our 10 games each. We have done 15 games between us. Some of us may go away and do videos expanding these and maybe doing 20s, 30s, 10s, I don't know. But it's maybe a little project for the future. But for now, that's our toppity-top picks. We should be back soon with an actual proper episode where we talk about the games we've been playing rather than do some kind of listicle, which we've been doing, which seems to be doing for the last, feels like 6 months, but it's basically just been from end of December to end of January. So I would like to say thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And I know I say this every episode, but after 10 years, really, thank you very much for listening. I didn't expect anyone to listen to our ramshackle nonsense when we first started, and it has been great to not only get feedback off the internet, get people on the Discord, but also, randomly walking around Expo and somebody goes, "Oh, are you Steve?"
Yeah.
Or usually, "You Andy?"
Because they've heard me from 2 halls away.
yeah, exactly. But it's such a good feeling, and it's sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes doing this podcast feels like hard work. Sometimes you wonder whether you're just screaming into the void. But that kind of interaction means that it's been worth it. It feels we're doing something that the fact that people are listening is really good. So thank you very, very much, everyone who's been listening.
Thank you. It is, yeah.
Thank you all.
We wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
It's great.
So, with that, 10 more years of happy gaming.
Can you imagine 10 more years of this?
I'll be dead by then, don't worry.
I wonder how high your clicker will get.
It's only got 4
It
digits.
won't at all. My clicker, on the other hand, will go round 4 times. Ta-ra.
Cheerio.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the very first Polyhedron Collider Cast. Hopefully this all goes according to plan. It's a bit ramshackle at the moment. We've got a microphone. Ramshackle. We've got a microphone. We've got some beer. We played some games. We're here to talk about board games and maybe some other tabletop games. I don't know.